In the shadow of power, the truth often wears a disguise. Today we peel back the layers of one of history's most controversial decisions. Back in 2003, the White House administration spun a narrative that would shake the world to its core and shape the course of global politics for years to come. This narrative was the driving force behind the invasion of Iraq, a decision that led to a prolonged conflict and a myriad of consequences. But beneath the surface of these justifications, what was really going on? What was the driving force behind this narrative that veered so far from the truth? Was it a genuine belief in the presence of threats, a strategic move to control resources, or simply a product of misinformation and errors in intelligence? To understand these questions, we need to delve into the psychology of the scammer. Whether in politics, business, or our personal lives, scammers often share common traits: a desire for control, a willingness to exploit trust, and a skill in crafting believable narratives. In the case of the Iraq invasion, the narrative was centered around weapons of mass destruction, a threat that was later proven to be non-existent. Why do scammers, even those at the highest echelons of power, twist reality? Often it's a blend of personal gain, whether that be power, money, or influence, and a belief that the end justifies the means. In the political arena, these deceptions can be rationalized as necessary for national security or geopolitical strategy. The impact of such scams is always far-reaching. In the case of the Iraq War, it led to loss of life, destabilization of a region, and a lasting impact on international relations. The true story, uncovered by a tenacious team of journalists, underscores the importance of questioning and verifying the narratives fed to us by those in power. At the heart of this story lies the psychology of the scammer, a tale that has shaped global politics and led to a prolonged conflict. Remember, in the pursuit of truth, skepticism is our greatest ally. Scammers, whether in politics, business, or our personal lives, often share common traits. These are individuals who have honed their craft, becoming masters of manipulation and deception. They are puppeteers who pull the strings from the shadows, bending reality to their will, and all too often we are their unsuspecting marionettes. One of the most striking traits of a scammer is their ability to play with our perceptions. They weave intricate narratives that are so compelling that we are drawn into their world, oblivious to the lies lurking beneath the surface. Their tales are often laced with elements of truth, making it difficult to separate fact from fiction. Another common trait is their insatiable desire for control. Scammers thrive on power, whether it's over resources, people, or narratives. They are strategic chess players, always thinking several moves ahead, ready to sacrifice pawns for the sake of their ultimate goal. Yet even the most cunning scammer is not immune to the pitfalls of their own deception. They often believe in their own lies, blurring the line between reality and the illusion they have created. This can lead to a dangerous spiral, where the scammer becomes trapped in their own web of deceit. Take, for instance, the narrative spun around the Iraq invasion in 2003. The tale was one of imminent threat, of weapons of mass destruction that could plunge the world into chaos. This narrative, crafted with urgency and fear, was so compelling that it drove a nation to war. But as we now know, this narrative was far from the truth. The weapons of mass destruction, the cornerstone of the justification for the invasion, were never found. The tale was a deception, a mirage created by those in power for reasons that remain a subject of debate. In the case of the Iraq invasion, the narrative focused on weapons of mass destruction, a threat that was later proven to be non-existent. So, as we delve deeper into the nature of deception, remember this: scammers are master storytellers, but every story has an ending, and the truth, no matter how deeply buried, has a way of coming to light. Why do scammers, including those in the highest echelons of power, twist reality? This question brings us to the heart of the manipulation game. The answer is as complex as it is intriguing, often rooted in a blend of personal gain, power, money, or influence. In the grand theater of life, scammers are the puppeteers, pulling at the strings of reality to fabricate a narrative that suits their objectives. They are adept at exploiting our vulnerabilities, our fears, and our desires. At their core, they are driven by a thirst for control, a hunger for resources, and a disregard for the truth. In the case of the Iraq invasion, the puppeteers wove a tale of imminent danger, of weapons of mass destruction, to justify their actions. The narrative was compelling, terrifying, and ultimately, a fabrication. But why? What drives someone, especially those in positions of power, to manipulate reality to such an extent? The answer lies in the intoxicating allure of personal gain. This gain can take many forms: power, wealth, influence, or even the satisfaction of perceived righteousness. For the puppeteers of the Iraq narrative, it was perhaps a blend of all these elements. The promise of control over a resource-rich region, the prospect of solidifying their grip on power, the lure of international influence, and the conviction that their actions were justified for the greater good. Yet the manipulation of reality is not always driven by nefarious intentions. In the political arena, these deceptions can be rationalized as necessary for national security or geopolitical strategy. Leaders may convince themselves that their actions, however dishonest, are in the best interest of their nation or their citizens. This rationalization provides a moral cushion, a justification for their actions, and a way to sleep at night. But no matter the rationalization, the distortion of reality carries significant consequences. Scams, whether in our personal lives or on the world stage, can lead to loss, chaos, and a profound erosion of trust. In the political arena, these deceptions can be rationalized as necessary for national security or geopolitical strategy. But at what cost, and who pays the price? These are questions we must continue to ask as we strive to distinguish fact from fiction in our complex world. The consequences of such scams are far-reaching. In the realm of international politics, deception can lead to dramatic shifts in power, the loss of countless lives, and enduring instability. Take, for instance, the Iraq War. A narrative was spun, a tale of imminent danger from weapons of mass destruction. It was a story that led nations into conflict and resulted in a war that lasted for more than a decade. The real cost of this deception was staggering. The conflict led to the loss of life on a massive scale. Thousands of American servicemen and women were killed or wounded, and the number of Iraqis who lost their lives or were injured as a result of the invasion reached into the millions. The war also caused the destabilization of a region. 17 years later, troops are still engaged, now in a region destabilized and fraught with new threats, such as ISIS. The financial cost of the war is another aspect of its far-reaching impact. The United States has spent over $2 trillion on the conflict to date, a sum that could have been allocated to numerous other pressing issues, such as healthcare, education, or infrastructure. And then there's the impact on international relations. The trust between nations was strained, and the credibility of the United States on the world stage took a hit. All of this because of a deception, a narrative crafted and sold to the world that was later proven to be false. But amidst the deception and its disastrous consequences, there was a glimmer of hope. A tenacious team of journalists dared to question the narrative, to dig deeper, to seek the truth. Their work underscores the importance of skepticism and the necessity of questioning the narratives fed to us by those in power. The true story, uncovered by these dogged journalists, highlights the importance of questioning and verifying the narratives fed to us by those in power. 17 years on, the numbers of the Iraq War continue to rise. The aftermath of the conflict, a testament to the complex web of deceptions spun around us. Let's delve into the stark reality of these numbers, the tangible consequences of a narrative crafted on false pretenses. The financial cost of the war has reached an astronomical $2 trillion, a staggering sum that continues to climb, a testament to the enduring impact of the conflict. This is not just a number, but a reflection of resources that could have been invested in education, healthcare, and infrastructure. The human cost is even more staggering. Over 36,000 American servicemen and women have been killed or wounded. Each number represents a life forever changed, a family altered, a community that grieves. But the cost extends beyond our borders. An estimated 1 million Iraqis have been killed or injured as a result of the invasion. An entire generation that has known nothing but conflict, their lives shaped by a war rooted in falsehoods. And at the heart of the narrative that led to this war, the alleged weapons of mass destruction, the number stands at 0. The threat that was presented as imminent and justified the invasion has been proven to be non-existent, a chilling reminder of the power of a carefully crafted narrative. As we reflect on the shock and awe campaign, it's crucial to remember that the psychology of the scammer is complex. The deception isn't just about the lie, but about the reasons behind it. The desire for power, control, and influence can lead to narratives that veer far from the truth. But perhaps most importantly, these numbers remind us of the impact such deceptions can have on the world stage. The ripple effects of the Iraq War continue to be felt, a reminder of the long-lasting consequences of decisions made in the corridors of power. Let's not forget these numbers, these stories, these lives. They serve as a stark reminder that in the pursuit of truth, our skepticism is our greatest ally. Because the truth often wears a disguise in the shadow of power, only one team of journalists got the story right. In the aftermath of the Iraq War, the shock and awe movie emerged as a testament to the relentless pursuit of truth. This film chronicles the journey of a group of journalists who dared to question the accepted narrative, who dared to dig deeper when the world seemed to accept the story at face value. This is a story of courage and determination, a story of skepticism and the unwavering belief in the power of truth. These journalists, faced with a web of deception spun by the highest echelons of power, did not back down. They questioned, they probed, they challenged the narrative. They knew that the truth was out there and they were determined to find it. Their journey was not easy. It was fraught with obstacles and challenges. They were faced with the daunting task of unraveling a narrative that had been meticulously crafted and presented with such conviction. But they persisted, driven by their commitment to their profession and their belief in the importance of truth. The Shock and Awe movie is more than just a film. It's a powerful reminder of the role of journalism in our society. It's a testament to the importance of skepticism in the pursuit of truth. It's a call to each one of us to question, to probe, to challenge the narratives that are presented to us. The pursuit of truth is not a passive endeavor. It requires vigilance. It demands skepticism. It requires us to question, to probe, to dig deeper. It requires us to challenge the narratives that are presented to us, to look beyond the facade. In the world of politics and power, the truth often wears a disguise. It's up to us to peel back the layers, to uncover the reality beneath the surface. The Shock and Awe movie serves as a stark reminder of this. It reminds us of the importance of skepticism in the pursuit of truth. In the pursuit of truth, skepticism is our greatest ally. Let's keep questioning, keep digging, and always strive to see beyond the facade.